feel like it was like that for a lot of us. It's easier for me than it was for Tom because I wasn't playing a character that had already...
Rachel Zegler burst onto the Hollywood scene with her critically acclaimed performance in West Side Story. Praised for her vocal range and on-screen charisma, she quickly became a rising star, touted as the next big name in the entertainment industry. Despite her initial success, Rachel Zegler's public image took a hit as her social media presence and outspoken comments polarized audiences. While some saw her as misunderstood, others labeled her box office poison, leading to heated debates about her behavior and career trajectory. Rachel Zegler's casting as Snow White in Disney's live-action remake was initially seen as a milestone in her burgeoning career, but it quickly became one of her most controversial roles. Fans of the original 1937 animated classic were outraged by her dismissive remarks about the film, including its themes and storyline, which she referred to as outdated. These comments, coupled with the modern feminist themes promoted in the remake, led many to accuse her of disrespecting the beloved original. The backlash intensified when Disney released the first trailer, which was met with overwhelming negative reactions. Dislike counts skyrocketed across multiple YouTube uploads, crossing the million mark and painting a grim picture of public sentiment. Fans felt that Zegler not only disregarded the spirit of the classic, but also alienated longtime Disney supporters with her perceived arrogance. This growing discontent turned the Snow White project into a lightning rod for criticism, with Zegler at the center of the storm. As the negativity mounted, rumors began circulating that Disney itself might be regretting its decision to cast her, further escalating the controversy. Rachel Zegler's career faced another major challenge as several of her high-profile projects underperformed at the box office. Despite critical acclaim, West Side Story failed to meet financial expectations, even with the backing of Steven Spielberg. This disappointment was followed by Shazam! Fury of the Gods, which performed even worse than anticipated, further raising concerns about her marketability. The trend continued with Y2K, a horror comedy intended to capture the chaotic energy of the year 2000. The film opened to dismal numbers, earning just $2.1 million against its $15 million budget. The situation worsened as it dropped over 60% in its second weekend, with older re-releases outperforming it. Critics were harsh, and social media piled on with scathing reviews, many of which targeted Zegler directly. While it may be unfair to blame a single actor for a film's failure, the repeated association of Zegler's name with lackluster returns fueled the narrative that she might be a liability. This growing stigma began to overshadow her talent, with industry insiders and audiences alike starting to question whether her involvement in a project was more of a risk than a reward. As the controversy surrounding Rachel Zegler mounted, rumors began circulating that Disney was considering cutting ties with the actress. The most sensational claim suggested that Disney might fire Zegler on Christmas Day, a move symbolic of how far her reputation had fallen within the company. These rumors, while unverified, gained traction across social media and entertainment forums, feeding into the narrative that Zegler's involvement in the Snow White remake had become a significant liability. For a company like Disney, which traditionally stands by its leading stars, the mere suggestion of such drastic action was telling. Industry insiders speculated that Disney executives were growing weary of the negative headlines tied to Zegler, fearing that the backlash could overshadow the studio's centennial celebrations and harm its long-term brand image. Despite the lack of official confirmation, the chatter painted a troubling picture of Zegler's position within Hollywood's most influential studio. The idea of Disney letting go of one of its rising stars hinted at the severity of the situation, with whispers about her potential replacements in future projects only fueling the fire. For Zegler, this speculation marked a critical moment in her career, as it became increasingly clear that her future in the industry was on shaky ground. The controversy surrounding Rachel Zegler's casting as Snow White didn't just ignite public backlash, it reportedly created turmoil within Disney itself. The live-action remake, initially envisioned as a milestone project for the company's 100th anniversary, quickly devolved into a source of embarrassment and frustration for the studio. Instead of celebrating a modern retelling of a timeless classic, Disney found itself grappling with an overwhelming wave of criticism, much of which was directed at Zegler personally. Zegler's interviews, where she openly critiqued the original 1937 animated Snow White film for its outdated themes and problematic storyline, served as a major flashpoint. Her remarks alienated longtime Disney fans, many of whom cherished the original film as a hallmark of the studio's legacy. To them, Zegler's comments felt dismissive and condescending, sparking outrage that only grew louder as more interviews surfaced. Fans accused her of disrespecting not only the original film, but also the audiences who loved it. This backlash contributed to the negative reception of the remake's trailers, which accumulated millions of dislikes across YouTube uploads. Behind the scenes, Disney executives were reportedly scrambling to contain the fallout. Sources claimed that emergency meetings were held to address the growing public relations crisis, with insiders debating how to navigate the unprecedented level of negativity surrounding the film. There were whispers of creative disagreements, with some suggesting that the controversy even led to changes in marketing strategy and discussions about how to minimize potential damage to Disney's reputation. Adding fuel to the fire were leaked set photos and rumors of tensions within the production team. Some fans speculated that Disney might scale back its promotion of the remake altogether to avoid further backlash. Meanwhile, online platforms like Twitter, Reddit, and YouTube became hotbeds of debate, with hashtags criticizing Zegler and calls for her removal gaining traction. The stakes were particularly high for Disney, as the Snow White remake was intended to be a cornerstone of its centennial celebrations, a showcase of the studio's enduring influence and storytelling legacy. Instead, the project became a symbol of controversy, with many questioning the studio's decision-making. For Disney, the challenges of modernizing a beloved classic while satisfying a broad audience proved to be a delicate balancing act, made all the more difficult by Zegler's polarizing public image. In the end, the drama surrounding Snow White exemplified how a single production could become entangled in broader cultural debates and how the actions of one star could ripple through an entire studio. Disney, known for its carefully curated brand and long-standing tradition of supporting its leading actors, now faced the difficult task of rebuilding trust with audiences while determining how to move forward with one of its most controversial projects in years. Rachel Zegler's public image continued to deteriorate as social media platforms became battlegrounds for debates about her comments and actions. From Twitter to Reddit and YouTube, fans expressed outrage at her perceived arrogance, particularly regarding her remarks about the original Snow White film. Screenshots of her interviews and tweets were shared widely, often accompanied by criticism that painted her as out of touch with fans and dismissive of the cultural significance of Disney's classics. The hashtags #FireRachelZegler and others criticizing her began trending sporadically, fueled by both genuine outrage and the internet's love of drama. Every new clip of her interviews seemed to spark fresh debates. Some fans felt her tone was condescending, while others argued that her comments were blown out of proportion. Regardless of the intent behind her words, the growing narrative of Zegler as a divisive figure became nearly impossible to shake. Beyond Snow White, past and present projects also came under scrutiny, with critics questioning whether Zegler was a team player or someone prone to creating controversy. Even unrelated content such as remarks about her co-stars or broader social issues was dissected and added to the list of grievances circulating online. The intensity of the backlash extended beyond casual fans to dedicated Disney supporters who vowed to boycott the Snow White remake and any future projects featuring Zegler. This collective dissatisfaction gained momentum, creating an environment where every announcement or update about the film was met with skepticism and hostility. What made the situation even more precarious for Zegler was the way social media platforms amplified these negative sentiments. Clips and tweets, often taken out of context, went viral, reinforcing a narrative that she was both ungrateful for her opportunities and dismissive of the audience's concerns. For Zegler, the public's dissatisfaction with her statements and perceived attitude became a defining aspect of her career, a stark contrast to the glowing praise she had received early on. The unrelenting social media fury highlighted the power of public perception in the modern entertainment landscape. For Hollywood stars, especially those in major franchise roles, maintaining a favorable relationship with fans is as critical as delivering strong performances. For Zegler, the road to redemption seemed increasingly steep, as every misstep, real or perceived, added fuel to an already raging fire. As the controversies surrounding Rachel Zegler continued to dominate headlines, her reputation within the entertainment industry took a significant hit. What began as a promising career trajectory, marked by critical acclaim for her role in West Side Story, devolved into a cautionary tale about the impact of public perception on an actor's opportunities. Industry insiders began to view Zegler as a potential liability. Rumors circulated that producers and studios were hesitant to attach her to new projects, fearing that her involvement could overshadow the films themselves. The phrase "box office poison," once a term reserved for extreme cases, began cropping up in conversations about her career. Reports suggested that even within Disney, executives were questioning the wisdom of casting her in high-profile roles, given the backlash and the underperformance of her recent projects. This stigma wasn't entirely fair, as a film's success depends on many factors beyond its leading star. However, in Hollywood, perception often trumps reality, and Zegler's name had become increasingly associated with controversy. Her interviews, past social media comments, and the mixed reception of her films all contributed to a growing belief that she was a risky bet for studios investing millions in blockbuster productions. The entertainment industry, notorious for its reliance on marketability and public goodwill, seemed to be distancing itself from Zegler. Some reports even suggested that other actresses were being considered for roles initially slated for her, signaling a shift in how studios viewed her potential. The sentiment was echoed in fan communities, where many argued that attaching her name to a project would alienate audiences and invite unnecessary criticism. For Zegler, the challenge extended beyond navigating her existing roles. It was about proving her value in an industry increasingly wary of polarizing figures. The combination of underperforming films, public backlash, and persistent rumors created an uphill battle for the actress. To rebuild her reputation, she would need to carefully manage her public persona and demonstrate that she could overcome the controversies that had defined her career. Ultimately, Zegler's situation underscored the precarious nature of fame in Hollywood. While talent and opportunity can open doors, maintaining a favorable reputation is critical for long-term success. For Zegler, the perception that she was too big of a risk posed a significant obstacle to reclaiming her status as one of the industry's rising stars. Rachel Zegler's career trajectory serves as a stark reminder of Hollywood's unforgiving nature. Once celebrated as a rising star and hailed for her talent, she became a symbol of how quickly fortunes can shift when public perception sours. The entertainment industry thrives on marketability and public goodwill, and Zegler's controversies demonstrated how fragile these elements can be. From social media backlash to industry rumors, her journey reflects the pressures actors face to maintain both their artistic credibility and their audience's trust. In Hollywood, where the stakes are high and reputations are built and destroyed rapidly, Zegler's fall from grace illustrates the thin line between acclaim and alienation. Despite the challenges, Hollywood has always embraced redemption stories. Rachel Zegler's path forward hinges on her ability to address the controversies that have defined her recent career. Rebuilding trust with fans, choosing roles that resonate with audiences, and presenting a more relatable public image could pave the way for a comeback. Industry insiders and fans alike recognize that careers can rebound with the right projects and public moves. Zegler's talent, which initially earned her acclaim, could still serve as the foundation for a second chance. However, her ability to overcome public skepticism and reignite her appeal will ultimately determine whether she can reestablish herself as a leading figure in Hollywood.